Hi, I'm Aimee Wilder. I launched my brand in 2009 featuring my artworks as wallpapers and have since expanded to a range of materials for commercial and residential interiors. The most recent category I developed is a tile collection that is handmade in Vietnam. I'm here with Design Milk to answer questions for DMTV Milkshake. They're in this hat, so I'll have to just pull the first one out. How is the expansion into fashion coming? Well, I'm definitely into fashion. I think fashion is really fun. I love shopping, even though like right now we haven't been going to too many stores. I like to pull, mood boards from from shops on the internet and create a mood board of like what I want my fashion to look like, whether it's colors and patterns, and sometimes I mix it in with home stuff. I like the whole kind of aesthetic. But with the brand, I think that the best thing for us to do is to focus on home decor. It was my first love, and it's what I started and what the brand was supposed to be about. And, it's a lot of work to have a brand like I do. And so, we want to expand as much as possible into home decor before we move into fashion. It could be a licensing project that helps us get into fashion, but we just launched our first tiles collection, the Apogee collection, and we are seeing a lot of interest. And so, the idea of offering products to outfit like the entire home rather than just the walls is super exciting to me, and it takes a lot of work to get there. Okay, another question. All right. The next one is, what was the most important thing you learned while working for Martha Stewart Living? So for Martha Stewart, it makes me think back to kind of early in my career, and back then I didn't really have like the technical skills that I do now, but what I learned is that my artistic skill kind of mattered more. And so when I hire people to work for me, I look at their creativity first, and if there's a technical skill that's missing, like, we'll just train you on it. We won't bring it into a negative light at all. And so we like to have our employees like have an opportunity to grow and learn, which is a little bit different at Martha Stewart. I guess technical skills were super important, more important than I weight them. And I was also like really inspired by working there. I liked the facilities. There was an amazing prop studio, an incredible color library. I learned like a lot about clean color. The library was just like a room full of bins of swatches, like towels and ribbons that you can use to specify color. It taught me that it's not just about a Pantone chip. Instead, it could be about a fabric color or a paint swatch. Okay, let's do another question. This one is there a particular historical era that mastered the art of beautiful wall coverings better than any other? Okay, so I like all of the eras. I love the 60s and 70s, but the one that resonates with me the most is the 1920s. And I think it's basically like in the 20s, you can kind of see a change from what was going on before. The use of deco motifs and metallics, it kind of lends itself to like what we do with metallics now, and also, sharp and not necessarily sharp, but more clean motifs. I don't think of anything else there. And the shapes kind of like help me think of the applications and shapes that we have now. Let's do the next question. If cost were no object, what would be the most wonderful wall covering you can imagine? In other words, have cost constraints ever prevented you from using a particular material, and if so, what was it? So, let's see. We basically use props a lot, and we're integrating now like photography into the work. So we'll find elements to shoot, and we'll create patterns from those elements. And so I guess this question makes me think of getting those props costs a lot of money, and it would be amazing to use like super luxury materials like gems and gold and animal furs, but like without the stigma or the negative connotations that those things, bring along with them, to both the environment and to people. So to be able to figure out ways to shoot things like that without any negativity. Okay, here's another question. Oops, the same one, I put it back. Here's another one. What do most home shoppers get wrong about wallpaper? Okay, this one's also not too hard. So basically, we get a lot of emails and the clients want wallpaper. They really want it in their homes, but sometimes it's a rental. Sometimes they're just not sure about, committing, even if it's a space that they own. And it's really, I think that they aren't sure about permanent wallpaper, traditional wallpaper. And so they ask us like, do you have a removable product? And we do kind of sell that product, but basically it costs as much as the regular wallpaper. It's not inexpensive. And so if traditional wallpaper is applied to the walls, as long as a primer is applied first, you can actually remove it. There's a process for removing wallpaper that involves some scoring of the paper as well as applying a remover. After it's removed, basically all you have to do is sand it lightly with a sander and repaint your walls, and that's it. It's not as bad as you think, and you need a scraper to scrape it off. So that's my biggest, I think that's what people are worried about. Sometimes they're also worried about like adding color or metallic or something, like it'll be too much. But usually if you pick carefully with your like furniture and accessories, you can make it really make it look really good and make a statement. Okay, here's the last one. What's your favorite use of wallpaper, your wallpaper in your own home? So that makes me think back to a studio I had on the south side of Williamsburg, and it had our Aimee Wilder, Von Helsinki Star Tiger Sphinx wallpaper, and the tiger faces just created this magical feeling. I loved staring at the tiger face. I love that design to begin with, so that was a really easy one to pick to put into my space. And then later on, we moved to another apartment, and we actually mixed a lot of patterns, and we created like a really energetic feeling by mixing like a light pink with a bright green and even a neon yellow, and it looked really nice as well. And here in this apartment, like I actually don't have any wallpaper up, but we're actually thinking about mixing 3 different patterns, all that look good together. You'll be able to see like one pattern behind a doorway and another pattern in front, which is like, super exciting to me. And to mix those patterns with like my rugs and fabrics and stuff, it's exciting. So, and thanks so much, Design Milk, for having me. I feel super privileged to be here and to answer all these questions, and thanks everyone for listening.